What up, folks? What's going on? Welcome to the Spun Today podcast. I'm your host, Tony Ortiz, and this is episode 59 of the podcast. Thank you very much for listening. I feel like I haven't recorded one of these in a minute because I haven't. I recorded the last two, I think, like back to back and in advance of my Mexico trip. I made it back alive, and I'm here for you guys. El Chapo ain't got shit on me. And it was so dope. So dope. Did you guys see that Pete Davidson comedy special? It was pretty good. It was good. Yeah, it was his first hour, his first stand-up special aired on Comedy Central. I'm recording this the morning of November, I think today's the 1st, November 2nd. And his comedy special came out last Saturday on the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, October 29th. And it's called SMD, which stands for Suck My Dick, but also for his father's initials, which is pretty dope. For those of you that don't know, his father died in 9/11. He was a fireman in Brooklyn. And he was one of the first responders, and sadly he died on 9/11. And Pete Davidson is an up-and-coming comic, which he's only 22 years old, and he, he's been, you guys may, if you don't know who he is, you may have seen, he's been like on the Justin Bieber roast. He did another roast or two, which I haven't seen, but he was on the Justin Bieber roast. I think that helped popularize him. He's a writer for SNL, and he's on SNL. I think he's poised to be like one of the comedy greats. Now I know it's, he's only like one special deep, but I could kind of foretell these kind of things. Like I called Kobe being one of the greats, Eminem being one of the greats. Like I got in on the ground floor with those guys. Joe Rogan being one of the greats, and he was like well on his way anyway in terms of like podcasting, being a podfather. Who else? I feel like I called somebody else. Anyway, if he's only 22, he has the work ethic. He writes and like takes his craft seriously. And he definitely has that it factor, like when he's like on screen or like on stage, he's just like funny to like look at, and like little quirks or things that he says, like so dope. Like stuff like that, it just sounds funny even though it's like not funny in and of itself. And he's like self-deprecating. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's definitely on the right track. If he keeps that work ethic and keeps at it, he could definitely be one of the comedy greats in my opinion. And also I like that he like appreciates his I guess like platform, and wants to he's taking that into consideration and wants to get away from just saying dick jokes and stuff like that, and throw in some political comedy and like more, I guess, like quote unquote highbrow type of thing. Plus he also has that I don't give a fuck factor like to it. His thing is that he wants to tailor his audience to the type of people that he would want to like be around. So he's not afraid of being like too like PC or not doing certain jokes in fear of losing a certain amount of his audience, according to what he said in a recent interview, because he would rather get rid of a large chunk of them if necessary, as long as he's left with the people that he wants to be there, which is pretty admirable and pretty dope. So salute to Pete Davidson, and hope you guys check out his comedy special. And it must be really dope because he had like he had like a rough childhood. Obviously coming up, his pops passed away. That's not the dope part, by the way. His pops passed away on 9/11. He was young. He was 7 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And but he was like I guess like a nerdy kid. Got like bullied a lot. Went to like different high schools, and then supposedly didn't have any like real like tight friends and stuff like that. to then be at this point when he's on SNL and a respected comic amongst his peers, and had a billboard in the middle of Times Square that said SMD. You know what I mean? It's like, suck my dick to all you motherfuckers. Plus, at the same time, paying homage to his pops, which is amazing to be able to do. And what else? There was one more thing I wanted to say, but I forgot. Oh, something I found interesting about SNL, which I think I've heard it before from other people that were on SNL, but I heard Pete speak about it recently on a Breakfast Club interview and a Rosenberg interview as well. And on one of them, he says that the way SNL works is that, like, on Mondays and Tuesdays, because SNL tapes live, all its skits, Saturday Night Live. That's what SNL stands for, and they have a guest star always, and that partakes in skits and stuff like that. And they have a bunch of writers. Oh, Hannibal is a writer on SNL, if I'm not mistaken. Hannibal Buress. And is he? Or was? I'm not sure. I think I've heard him speak about it before. So the way it works is there's like everybody that's on the show writes, and well, I don't know if everybody writes, but a bunch of the people on SNL write their skits, their ideas, and there's like 40 some odd ideas between like Monday and Tuesday that get submitted. From those 40 some odd ideas, they act out and like practice 10 of them, and then the night of SNL, Saturday Night Live, which I'm guessing is on Saturday nights, even though I don't watch, but from the 10 that get rehearsed and dress rehearsal, they pick 5 to do live, and they find out like the day of or whatever, like the other 5 they get cut or whatever. So that's pretty interesting process. It's pretty cool. I'd love to see or hear, or they should like vault like all the other shit, like the dress rehearsal stuff, at least like the other 10, and then just from like a writing standpoint, like the other 30 that didn't even make it to the dress rehearsal part, because there's probably like genius shit in there. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. All right, in this episode, I went off on a tangent before even telling you guys what this episode's about. In this episode, I speak about watching the final 2 presidential debates, which were modified mosquitoes that are slated for early 2017 release, tailgating at this year's Jets vs. Ravens game, the Sausage Party movie, which I saw a minute ago, I never told you guys about, the Amazon app, video app that I mentioned to you guys recently that I've been watching Mr. Robot on, and finishing Josh Waitzkin's book, The Art of Learning. So if you're into any of that stuff, stick around, and if not, then don't. Because I too want to cut my audience size from half a dozen to only the ones that want to be here. What's up with the Cubs? I'm not a big baseball guy, as I've told you guys in the past, but I like I'm rooting for the Cubs because they haven't won in over a century. It's over 100 years. The last time they won the World Series was in 1908. It's like, fuck. Plus, I don't know, something about Cleveland winning the NBA and then being in the running for World Series. I'm just like straight hating on them. So I'm definitely rooting for the Cubs, and I like rooting for the underdog. I think they're the underdog. If they weren't coming in, then they definitely became it because they were down like 1-3, and last night they tied it up 3-3, and the World Series Game 7 finale is tonight, actually. So by the time you guys hear this, they either would have won or lost. Hopefully I'm putting it out there that they win, and they actually do. So good luck to the Cubbies. Every time I hear or say Cubbies, I always think of Back to the Future 2, when they go into the future. And that guy pretty much gives Marty the idea to get the sports almanac by saying, I wish I would have had some money to go back to the beginning. I wish I would have had a time machine or some shit like that to go back to the beginning of the season and put some money on the Cuppies. Let's see. Alrighty, so I saw the last two debates, and they were, I didn't see them live because the second one was when my new niece was born. We went to the hospital, and the third one I was in Mexico, and I disconnected. Something dope about Mexico, which, by the way, I did record a podcast while I was over there. Like, I recorded like a bunch of separate snippets or whatever. I just need to do like the intro and outro for it, and I'm gonna like vault it and release it sometime in the future. But yeah, I'll definitely tell you guys more about that. There are pictures available though, like the photography that I promised you guys. I went to like Chichen Itza and just like around the resort, some like dope shots that I got, at least I think are dope. And if you guys want to check them out, go to spuntoday.com/photography. And also on the Facebook page, there's a bunch of just like, an Instagram page, like just a bunch of like regular, not necessarily photography pictures, although those are in there, but also some extra stuff too, like food and stuff like that. If you're into that stuff, check it out. Yeah, something dope about Mexico was that I disconnected from everything. I like no internet, no Twitter, no phone, no texting, no anything. And for the 6 days that we were there, which was pretty cool and kind of like meditative in and of itself. So I definitely didn't watch the debate or anything like that. And when I came back, I watched them both like back to back, and they were. Sorry guys, I'm drinking my coffee. They were, I don't know, nothing spectacular. I guess there was like a lot of hype going into the first one, which I thought was good. Trump did a little better in the last two compared to the first one, and Hillary just continued to be Hillary. She's a poised, robotic politician, and she's good at what she does. Hopefully, she carries that into the White House, and we steer clear of the dangerously incompetent Donald Trump presidency. And which I was having this conversation with my brother the other night, and it's sad because we're getting more of the same with Hillary, and there's a lot of people in the country which are fed up with the status quo and more of the same. And on one hand you have the fact that this more of the same gives us this political system and way of life, I guess if you want to call it that works. But at the same time, we know it also gives us the possibility of this xenophobic demagogue in Donald Trump. And he's like this close to being president, Something's up with the mic. I thought this thing wasn't recording. That would fucking suck. Yeah, so where was I? So the same system that's why actually there's like a lot of emphasis on what happens after like the next 4 years. Hopefully Hillary gets in. We know what we're gonna get. And the next, because the state of the country is so polarized, and this whole election cycle has been so polarizing, and you have the extremes of Bernie Sanders on one side and the extremes of the Donald Trump and his supporters on another side, that is a testament to that, which is not healthy for the system in a sense, even though it's good in the shake it up sense. And shaking up the status quo and the more of the same, and the kind of like the monopoly that the Democratic and Republican parties have on the political system, and that are in turn, because of things like Citizens United, are really like more of a plutocracy and ran by the influence of corporations and lobbyists and stuff like that. So you want the system to get shooken up a bit. but not to the point that you shake it to fucking tatters, which is like the fear of having a Donald Trump in there, and shake it up to the point that it's unrecognizable. And but at the same time, you can't be overzealous, I guess would be the right word, in like a Bernie Sanders and like, you know, everything kumbaya, everything free, everything across the board. So I guess Hillary's the best alternative from those given, but just, I don't know, it's just not like quite there yet. Something that I do like about the process as a whole is that because of the campaigns of like a Bernie Sanders, you have certain things that became part of the platform, like repealing Citizens United, and you know, like free colleges or universities for those that work and or deserve it, etc. And things like that got into the Democratic platform because of the way the political process is and the way it works. Now, although I don't think that either Hillary or Trump, just age-wise, are going to be able to run again, like run for re-election in 4 years, and the very, very important, probably the most important, in my opinion, aspect to their presidency is, or to Hillary's presidency rather, is that they have to elect a Supreme Court justice, at least one, and up to 3. You know, depending on if they do 8 years or 4, and if, you know, you have more Supreme Court justices slated for retirement. And something that I appreciate that Hillary did say that, again, got included into the conversation because of the Bernie Sanders campaign is the fact that Citizens United should be repealed. And for those of you that don't know, Citizens United is the law pretty much that the Supreme Court deemed as a freedom of speech, that money is freedom of speech. And that's like just to water it down. But pretty much that, you know, corporations and anybody could donate unlimited amounts of funds to political campaigns, millions upon millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, whatever, of dollars to super PACs, quote unquote, of campaigns, which is pretty much just a way of dressing up the money and saying, here, this is for your super PAC, and that, but that, you know, money goes to somebody's political campaign. And, you know, that amount of money has influence on the people that are ultimately the benefactors of that money, whether they say so or not, whether they think so or not, whether they say, you know, I'm taking their money, but you know, it doesn't influence me, is ridiculous, because that the effect of that money is influence, regardless of how you slice it, regardless of how noble you are, how much you won't let it affect you. Just that amount of money being in the mix, being in the conversation, being part of the landscape of what you're able to do with having that money is influencing in and of itself. I always quote this book, Republic Lost by Professor Lawrence Lessig. And it's all about this, all about money and politics and getting it out and the importance of getting it out. So definitely check that out if you guys haven't already. And it explains all that much better than I ever could. But anyway, at least she mentioned that if, you know, she really feels that way, and if she's really going to go towards that, and it's not just the usual political talk and bullshit, then it's awesome that at least it's part of the conversation. And that being the case, then maybe we'll see that change in like 12 years or some shit like that. It's so sluggish, right? The fucking system. Sometimes I feel like Ari says, the only way to really make change is anarchy. Anarchy. Burn it all down to the ground. Anarchy. Anyway, election day is November 8th. Go to the polls. I'm like really for just on a psychological level, just exercising that right. Even if you vote third party, if you vote just voting for your candidate, write in fucking Mickey Mouse, just go, be part of the process. You can't, you like the idea of everybody just not voting, just not to protest the system or something like that, you're gonna lose 10 times out of 10. That's not gonna work, because certain people are gonna vote, and then if it's 10 people, it's gonna be the 10 people that they buy to go vote or something like that, and you can't win that way. You gotta be in it to win it, right? It's like the fucking lottery. Anyway, go vote November 8th. By the time I record the next podcast, we will know who the next president of the United States is. POTUS. And yeah, we could have the first woman president, which is something like really huge. Like my brother said that. I've heard it said it as well, like other like pundits and stuff like that. That's like something really huge. The first female president in the United States ever could get elected in our lifetime. That's like amazing in and of itself. Whether it's the best female for the job or whatever. But just like in and of itself, we've had a bunch of white dudes forever and half black dude, and now we might get like a full woman, which might be a lesbian, but who knows? First LGBT chick. All right, so anyway, enough of that. Next thing is modified mosquitoes. Did you guys hear about this? I put a link in the episode notes. But in Brazil, this company called Oxitec is a manufacturer of genetically modified mosquitoes. So what this is, real life mosquitoes that get injected with this virus that eventually, when they mate with other mosquitoes, this is the goal. They want to eradicate Zika and certain related diseases that mosquitoes carry. So the idea is that they're gonna genetically modify these mosquitoes, which they have, and it's ready to go like in early 2017 or something like that. Let these genetically modified mosquitoes out into the world, and they're gonna have sex with the mosquitoes that have Zika, and then the mosquitoes that have Zika are gonna have their offspring, like normal, but the genetic modification to them is gonna wind up killing the little baby mosquitoes, like very early. So the idea is that after a couple, save the mosquitoes. No, fuck those motherfuckers. After a couple of generation or two of mosquitoes, that we would in turn cut the Zika virus and mosquitoes that have Zika virus by the tune of like 90% or some shit like that, supposedly. Because they've done some like tests, some field tests between 2011 and 2014, and they've seen that amount of decline. But that's just so sick in and of itself, right? And it's not like little I don't know why I was thinking of it like this, but little like machine mosquitoes, like in fucking Richie Rich, that the guy made that little tiny bee that flies around. It's not like a little metallic mosquito that's gonna go, inject real mosquitoes with their little mosquito metal dicks and inject them with some anti-Zika virus thing. It's like real mosquitoes that just get genetically modified, whatever the fuck that means, to have some sort of gene that when they have sex and reproduce affects the baby that's born, that will in turn have Zika in their bloodstream because of the mother, and kill the baby off because of that genetic modification. When it mixes with Zika, I guess, in a mosquito, they die. Which is so fucking interesting to me, and weird and like futuristic feeling, and I don't know, I just wanted to share that with you guys. But at the same time, it's like I could see it like going wrong, and like, holy shit, we done fucked up now. Instead of all the mosquitoes dying, they morphed into Super Zika, and now anybody that gets it kills anybody that they look at, or some shit like that. Hopefully not, but yeah. Anyway, there's a link to an article about it, and there's tons of shit online in the episode notes, so check it out. Tailgating. I went tailgating on Sunday, not this past Sunday, the Sunday before that, the Sunday right after I got back from Mexico, actually. And I do one game a year, one football game a year. For those of you that don't know what tailgating is, the tailgating you could do at many sports events. Well, I know you could do it in baseball and football. I don't know about any other sport events that do it. But it's dope. I'm not a huge sports guy, like you guys know. I root for certain teams: Mets in baseball, Lakers in basketball, Jets in football. And I go to one Jets game every year. What tailgating is, for those of you that don't know, is that, for example, we go to a 1 o'clock game. The parking lot of the stadium, which holds like upwards of 15,000 vehicles. I think it's like 18,000, 19,000 or something like that, a friend of mine said. And let's say the game is at 1 o'clock. The stadium opens up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, the purpose of this is for tailgating. Tailgating, what it is that everybody comes in their cars. And, you know, once you buy a parking pass, you can come in at any time. You don't have to pay like extra to tailgate. But you bring a barbecue grill, you bring liquor, you bring food, and you just hang out with your friends and family or whatever, and do whatever it is you're into. And you have a large spectrum from people that literally pay services to pick them up in a party bus and take them to the game, and they have like big RVs with big screen TVs tied to them and a personal cook, to like literally we saw like there was two girls which for some reason went to the game alone. Not that they can't, but it was just like odd because it's usually like a bunch of like dudes or like big groups of people. Two girls that went by themselves, and they were just like sitting down with like a little, like literally a grill the size of that you could like put on your desk, like a little round tiny grill and like a 6-pack of beer, and they were just like hanging out next to their car, which was weird. But anyway, you have like that spectrum, and we do one game a year. It's usually like 15 to 20 of us. We all meet up. It's 3 to 4 cars deep, and we all take, you know, burgers, hot dogs, shish kebabs, 4 or 5 cases of beer, liquor, chivas, always on deck. And you're like blasted gone by, you know, you get there like at 8:30 in the morning. We got there at 8:30 this year. And you just drink and grill and eat and just have fun for until the game, until you go in to watch the game. And which is at 1 o'clock, so you get like a good 3 or 4 hours in of, you know, you drunk by breakfast. It's like, it's cool. It's like being on vacation or something like that. And then you go in and watch a football game, which the Jets actually they were on a 4-game losing streak, and they actually won the game that we went to against the Ravens, which was dope to see your team win when you go to one of these things. And then after the game, after you finish watching the game, you go back out to the parking lot, and instead of leaving, because the parking lot, you know, starts to empty out, a lot of people tailgate again, which we do. So we fire up one of the grills. We always have like 2 grills going. Gets a lot of people. We fire up the grill again, and one of the grills, and we start cooking whatever food is left. And, you know, most people drink more and stuff like that, and it's just a good time for another couple hours. So it's like a long day, and it's definitely worth it. If anybody wants to experience it, I recommend it. It's a good time, even if you're not into sports or anything like that. Which, like I said, I'm not. You know, I'm not the biggest like sports guy or anything like that. I'm like barely into sports. But the whole tailgating aspect of it like makes it worthwhile. Plus, it's just like an event. You know what I mean? Like you go to see a sports event and you get into it. Like everybody else is there. Like the energy that's there is pretty cool. So the Sausage Party movie, I saw it a long time ago while it was like still in theaters, and I liked it. It got like flack. It was supposedly wasn't like that good or anything like that, but I thought that shit was hilarious. Like I laughed a lot, and I don't know, I'm like biased, I guess, because I'm a Seth Rogen fan. And like that camp, I know like even he gets like a lot of flack, like, oh, his comedy is like dull or whatever. I think it's fucking funny as shit and super talented. But the movie I thought was like really funny, really really funny. I even like funny to the point that I pulled out my phone, which I don't do like in movie theaters. Like I like following the movie theater rules, quote unquote. Like talking and phones ringing and like stuff like that. It's just like distracting to other people. But I like kind of did it like under my jacket, and I jotted down like a few things. This was on September 5th, 2016. I jotted down a few things that that I found funny, and I wanted to share with you guys, and I never did. So it's very probably out of context. I haven't looked at this list since, so it's not like in any cohesive type of thing. But I'll try to remember them while I share it. So there's one character that's a douche, like literally a douche, like douche that women use or that should use. And he's also a douchebag, which was a little on the nose, but like funny. And he's just like this, like a douchebag, is fucking asshole. Like has the accent that you would imagine he has, and just he's like kind of like depressed, but like at this, like he gets like roided up, quote unquote, because he drinks like a box juice or something like that, and he like all the food and stuff like that, like box juice, potatoes, carrots, like everything is like alive, right? If you guys, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, it's the sausages, the buns, like everything is alive. Like after the supermarket closes, it all takes place in the supermarket. After it closes, then it's like Toy Story, like they come alive and stuff like that, they talk and shit like that. And then the douche is like he's like an asshole, and he kills like the box juice and like drinks its juice, and that like the equivalent of like roids, and he gets like all muscles and veiny and stuff like that. And but he has like roid rage, and it's just fun. He walks around, he's like, I have no purpose, bro. I have no fucking purpose. And he's like a douchebag, and it's like, yeah, douchebags don't have a purpose. I don't know, it's just fucking funny. I found that hilarious. What else? They have like each aisle. You know how you have like an ethnic aisle, and you have like a bread aisle and cracker aisle and stuff. Like the cracker aisle is like the elite upper class white people, like stuff like that. The ethnic aisle is like the ghetto. It's like cool, like little things like that. It's funny. And then like different, like tomatoes have an Italian accent, potatoes have an Irish accent. It's like the food of like the region that they come from, or that the people are known for eating, have the accent of those people, like when they speak, which is funny. You have the like wise people, the ones that like live for a super long time, are the non-perishables, like food that doesn't expire, basically, like Twinkies and grits and stuff like that. They were part of like the non-perishables, and they were like the all-knowing group, because they've been around for so long. Crackers have the best aisle. What else? Poking fun at producers and songwriters that take themselves too seriously. I don't remember what that was about, but I jotted it down. The non-perishables wrote a religion to control the masses, which is funny. Like the people that were around the longest, they were like, let's control everybody basically, and create a religion. And they created this whole thing about when you go out into, when you get bought pretty much by a human and you go out into the world, it's like the La Gloria, like the, everybody looks forward to like, yeah, I got chosen. I'm going to the chosen land, or whatever they called it. But it's really, they get bought to go get eaten and stuff like that. But the non-perishables saw that everybody was like freaking out and always like stressed, and everybody was like always like avoiding getting out. So they just started a narrative of no. Well, like when you go out, you go into the real world, and it's paradise, which is clear parallels to religion, and it's funny. And then everybody like wants to like get out and stuff like that. And what else? Oh, they had a sticker. I wanted to look into this. I never did. Maybe one of you guys could let me know. They had a sticker on the car of like one of the people that bought like groceries or whatever, and it was called Dixar, and I thought that was like a fuck you to Pixar. Like maybe Pixar didn't want to make the movie and somebody else did, but I have no idea. That was just like a quick speculation on my from my perspective. But regardless, it was funny as shit. If that's true, and like they pitched the movie to Pixar and they didn't want to make it because it's rated R or whatever, to then have a sticker called Dixar and like calling them a dick, kind of, I thought that was funny. And details like that, I'm really into. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna rewatch this movie, and I recommend you guys to check it out. So that is Sausage Party. Now, last two things are Amazon Video app. Now, what I wanted to mention about that is, like I told you guys, I've been watching Mr. Robot. I finished season 1, which is available on Amazon Prime Video. For anybody that wants to watch it, if you have Prime, you can watch it for free, and it's pretty dope. And I'm well into season 2 as well. And I was watching it like on the plane, actually, like on my way to Mexico, season 2. And the Amazon Video app that I mentioned to you guys in the past is dope. Something I forgot to mention about it is the fact that it's really cool that you could, for example, like while you're watching it, if you like pause it or like hover the mouse over it or like pause it on your iPad or phone or whatever, the like whoever's like in the shot, like in that scene, like their picture pops up with their real name, kind of like their IMDb page kind of thing. Like if you click on it, it'll go to their, I believe, IMDb page or something similar, like their Wikipedia or something like that. And you know who like their names are and stuff like that, which is cool. It also gives you the option of clicking like on trivia, and it gives you trivia about like whoever is in that scene. Like for example, Christian Slater showed up, was in a scene, I paused it and I clicked on trivia just to see like what the hell it was, and it was pretty much like something cool, like a little factoid of like, you know, in this scene Christian Slater is at the amusement Ferris wheel with Elliot, and in the movie True Romance he skipped a guy online whose name was Elliot as well. You know, like little things like that, which are interesting to me anyway. I don't know, and it's just cool. It's just like a cool functionality of the app, like doing that, and it tells you more about each like character and you know what the actual actor has done besides that, you know, by taking you to their IMDb pages and stuff like that. I just thought that was pretty dope, like a pretty cool function of the Amazon Video app, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Lastly, I finished reading The Art of Learning by Josh Waitzkin, which was a very good book. I do recommend it. Not one of my like super highly recommended it. Like the first half of the book, I super highly recommend. And this is just like my personal bias, because you guys might probably get more out of the second half than I did. I just didn't because I'm not into. He pretty much. I love books that draw parallels between certain things in life, right? Like writing is and life, or like Josh did in the first half of the book, he was comparing chess to life, and gives you like kind of like life advice. Josh Waitzkin, for those of you that don't know, is the inspiration behind the movie Chasing Bobby Fischer. He's a chess prodigy. You know, world chess champion since like he was like a little kid, and he went on to write this book, obviously, but he also became like a Tai Chi champion, which is like a martial art, and I know that after that he also became like he's like very much into jiu-jitsu, which I wish would have been in the book. So what he did is like he broke down his experience of chess and drew parallels to life in like the first half of the first part of the book, which was awesome. I loved it. But then he got into, like in the second half, he got into Tai Chi, and he was doing the same thing, like drawing parallels between Tai Chi and chess. And which is cool in and of itself, just how the art or the craft of one thing can be applied to something else. Like, it's kind of like that Miyamoto Musashi quote of, if you know the way broadly, you see it in all things. So if you're good at this, you can apply that goodness to something else, even though it's something completely unrelated. You find parallels and you approach it in a similar way. So that in and of itself is dope. Just the fact that it was like heavy Tai Chi, which is like a weird martial art that I've never been exposed to, I don't have like any interest in, is why it kind of like took away from it for me. I wish it would have been like jiu-jitsu, which I am fascinated by, and I would have been much more into it. But I think that's something he picked up maybe after the whole Tai Chi thing. But it's a really good book, and he breaks down the way he learns and the way he approaches chess and the way he approached Tai Chi and the parallels between the two, and implications thereafter of life, basically. So I recommend it. I'll put a link in the episode notes for it, and I actually want to play you guys before I wrap up and do the outro a little snippet from the book, which is actually, spoiler alert, if you guys don't want to hear anything from the book, skip ahead. But it's just the what's it called? The afterwards, like after the book is done, the afterwards. It's like a little quote or whatever from him, and I thought that was pretty dope. So I just want to share it with you guys, and here it is.
The writing of this book has spanned an intense and unlikely stretch of years. As a kid growing up in my tiny room, I could never have dreamed that such battles awaited me. While writing these pages, my ideas have evolved, loves have fallen apart and come anew. World championships were lost and won. If I have learned anything over my first 29 years, it's that we cannot calculate our important contests, adventures, and great loves to the end. The only thing we can really count on is getting surprised. No matter how much preparation we do, in the real tests of our lives, we'll be in unfamiliar terrain. Conditions might not be calm or reasonable. It may feel as though the whole world is stacked against us. This is when we have to perform better than we ever conceived of performing. I believe the key is to have prepared in a manner that allows for inspiration, to have laid the foundation for us to create under the wildest pressures we ever imagined. It's my hope that you, the reader, emerge from this book inspired, and perhaps a bit more enabled to follow your dreams in a manner that's consistent with the unique gifts you bring to the table. That has been my ambition. The ideas I've shared in these pages have worked for me, and it's my hope that they suggest a structure and direction. But there is no such thing as a fixed recipe for victory or happiness. If my approach feels right, take it, hone it, give it your own flavor. Leave my numbers behind. In the end, mastery involves discovering the most resonant information and integrating it so deeply and fully, it disappears and allows us to fly free.
Well said, Josh. And I can't top that. So, that is the end of the episode, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Episode 59 of the Spun Today podcast. And if you want to find out how to support the podcast, stick around for another few minutes. Listen to some background music that I got playing for you guys. And yeah, that's it. If not, then thank you for sticking around and listening. The rest is going to be just different ways to help and support the podcast, if you choose to do so. First off is signing up to my weekly newsletter. So I have something called the Midday Monday newsletter. The concept behind it was influenced by the Tim Ferriss's famous newsletter, which is great that I signed up to. I am signed up to. It's called the 5 Bullet Friday newsletter. I recommend it to you guys, but very much I will also recommend the Midday Monday newsletter. Check it out. It's the concept behind it is pretty much that Mondays suck, and just to give you guys a little bit of a boost on Monday, hence the name Midday Monday Boostletter. You'll only get it once a week on Mondays at noon, and what it is an email that includes 5 things: a photo of the day, a photo of the week, a video of the week, a podcast of the week, a quote of the week, and a word of the week. And it's all things that I'm into, whether it's photography, a dope photo that I find online or on Instagram that I share with you guys. Really cool podcast that I have listened to and I want to recommend to you guys for that particular week. And I listen to a shitload of podcasts, like a lot of different types, like literally over like 40 or 50 different podcasts I listen to on a regular basis, ranging from comedy to financial to fantasy football to just entertainment, a lot of different things in there. So there's a little bit historical, political. There's a little bit for everybody. So the really dope ones that I really enjoyed, I feature on the Midday Monday Boost Letter. So you might find something that you like in it, as well as like a video that I just find from online, whether it's a TED Talk or a comedy bit or anything in between. What else? A quote of the week, just to give you some Midday Monday inspiration, and a word of the week to step up your vocab. So check it out. It's called the Midday Monday Boost Letter. You can find it at spuntoday.com/subscribe. Just drop in your email address and you will get the very next one. Something else you can do to support the podcast and actually be featured on the podcast for free is check out the 5-question questionnaire that I have at spuntoday.com/questionnaire. What it is 5 open-ended questions framed around your craft, your passion, your whatever it is that you're into. Whether it's writing or directing or singing or rapping or whatever it is that you're into, drawing, painting, crocheting, watching movies, whatever it is, anything creative that you're into, check out those 5 questions. I'm pretty sure anybody and everybody can answer them. And if you do so, I will read your responses on the podcast and share it with the rest of the listeners. And the idea behind that is that different people pick up tips and tricks and advice that they can apply to themselves. So if you can share that type of inspiration, why not? It's a very quick, open-ended 5 questions. You can answer with a paragraph if you want, or a word. You could remain anonymous as well if you choose to. If you're like a big, giant superstar listening to the Spun Today podcast, as I'm sure a lot of you do, and you don't want to, put yourself out there like that, I understand. Just click on the Remain Anonymous Yes button, and it will keep you anonymous, and I will just share your insights with the rest of the listeners of the Spun Today podcast. What else? This is the questionnaire. Photos on the website. Like I said, I went to Mexico recently. I went to the Mayan ruins. I'm going to do a whole episode about my whole Mexico experience sometime in the future. It might be one of those that I like vault and like save for a rainy day. But until then, you guys can check out now, as of right now, it's already posted to the website at spuntoday.com/photography. A bunch of the dope pictures that I feel were dope, that I took on the trip, and they're available there for your viewing pleasure, and you can download them. You can use them as screensavers if you want to do so. Got a couple of good pictures of the main pyramid, which is called El Catedral. Is it? El Catedral. I feel like that's wrong for some reason. Maybe it's right. But the main Chichen Itza pyramid, you guys have probably seen it before. If you just Google Chichen Itza, it'll literally be like the first image that pops up. And I got some other cool pictures just around like the resort and around Chichen Itza. And you guys can check them all out. Download them for free if you want. If you want to purchase prints of them, you can do so as well, either on your own or by using my affiliate, which is created, crated.com/spun today, where any and all of my photography can be purchased and framed and put in posters for you, or canvases, or whatever it is that you're into. Or, just download them and find go to fucking Duane Reade or find somebody, Walmart, somebody to do it cheaper for you online or something like that. But if not, if you want it all done for you, don't want to have to worry about it, just go to created.com, click on it, click on the photography there, which is the same that you'll find on my website for free. And yeah, you could do that. Support the podcast. What else? Speaking of affiliate links, go to spuntoday.com/affiliate links. And on that portion of my website, you find all the ways to support the podcast financially, whether it's by a PayPal donation, whether it's by signing on to Patreon, patreon.com/Spun Today, which is a service that allows you to donate financially to the podcast. Or whether it's by purchasing t-shirts or mugs with Spun Today paraphernalia on it. What else? Or shopping on iTunes or on Amazon. You can do so by just going to that landing page. It has all the links to everything there: Viral Style, Amazon, iTunes, PayPal, etc., etc., etc. And it doesn't cost you anything extra in terms of using like the Amazon banner, which would be dope. Christmas is coming up. You want to do some cyber shopping, which I definitely recommend to do it early. Like sometimes people are like, I think I did it like 2 years in a row. Like try to get all my Christmas shopping done by like on Black Friday, like when all these sales happen and shit like that, and Cyber Monday. I definitely recommend Black Friday over Cyber Monday, because Black Friday, even if you shop online on Black Friday, and you get like, instead of 40% off that you get on Cyber Monday, you get like 50% off on Black Friday anyway. So just do all your shit on Black Friday. But whatever, if you're a little lazy, do it on Cyber Monday. And I definitely recommend it, because then I wind up buying the same shit for the people that I plan on buying shit for, and pay more for it by waiting. It's Christmas is all the way next month. Just get that shit out the way earlier. Which is not really that much earlier, right? You put up your Christmas tree around that time. You're already like in the Christmas mood, spirit, and stuff like that. Do all your shopping early, folks. And if you shop on Amazon, go to my website first, click on the Amazon banner, and just do your shopping like normal. And what that does is that Amazon gives me a percentage of whatever it is that you purchase. They do not charge you anything extra. You will be supporting the podcast financially by doing so, and they just give me a small percentage from their cut of the money that they make from you buying on Amazon. So it's just a couple extra clicks and would definitely help out. And if you choose to do so, I'd really appreciate it. Another way to support the podcast is to check out my book, Make Way For You, which is a great stocking stuff for Christmas gift. If you want to get it for somebody, you can purchase it on Amazon as well. And you can purchase a paperback copy, or an ebook format, which you can find on any of your favorite ebook readers. Whether it's iBooks or Kindle or any of the other ones, you can find it. It's called Make Way For You: Tips for Getting Out of Your Own Way. Title and subtitle are pretty self-explanatory, I think. It's my first book. It's geared to sparking a fire, lighting a fire under your ass, and getting you to do whatever it is that you're into doing. And just a little extra motivation can't hurt. Hopefully it helps. It definitely helped me, just to stay focused and geared on just doing the podcast and continuing to write, which is all part of like the same thing, in my opinion. It's all driving me towards more writing and perfecting my craft and being dedicated to something and pursuing it and enjoying the journey along the way, which this is a part of. So anyway, check out Make Way For You. Go to spuntoday.com/books. There's more about it there. There's audio excerpts. There's an option to get a free PDF copy if you choose to, at spuntoday.com/books. And all the links to Kobo and iBooks and Kindle are there as well. So check it out. You can listen to the podcast on a lot of different platforms, whether it's iTunes or Stitcher, which most of you listen on, Google Play, Pocket Casts, YouTube, my website, spuntoday.com/podcasts, where all the episode notes are, and links that I always reference and stuff like that, and links to the music that I'm playing right now in the background, stuff like that. Where else? iHeartRadio, you can listen on as well, and a bunch of different places. Wherever it is that you do listen, I would highly appreciate if you rate and review the podcast. That helps the podcast gain momentum and exposure, and more people get put onto it, and more people listen, and that would be dope. Step it up from half a dozen to maybe a dozen and a half listeners. Kind of ambitious, but definitely would appreciate a rate and review of the podcast. So please do so on whatever platform that it is that you do listen on. And while you're on the YouTube page, for example, subscribe to it. This way you'll get alerted by YouTube whenever a new podcast episode comes out, or a new YouTube video comes out, and you'd be supporting the podcast by doing so as well. You can also follow me on social media, whether it's Twitter or Instagram, at Spun Today. Instagram, again, has a bunch of the pictures from the Mexico trip, as well as many others, and some others. I put a dope video of the tailgate that I mentioned in this episode that I went to. And it's there on Instagram, which I happened to catch before the snap. One of the touchdown drives that the Jets made. Caught it before the snap, all the way through the touchdown, and you get the crowd reaction, and it's a pretty dope video, in my opinion. So dope. What else? Tumblr. You can listen to the podcast on Tumblr as well. SpunTodayPodcast.tumblr.com. If that's your thing, check it out. And that's pretty much it, folks. I gotta go get ready for work. As usual, substitute the mysticism with hard work and start taking steps in the general direction of your dreams. Thanks for listening.